Welcome everyone. This is video number 7, task 8, and in this video we will talk about the typical CRUD operation, create, read, update, delete, but this time using AngularJS and Bootstrap form. The idea for this one that actually initially was that I would not be spending time on the UI that much, but eventually this is a very simple form and common day-to-day requirement. And we will be definitely building up a couple of these forms throughout this application. And yeah, let's give it a spin and see how we do it. So initially, I will start with the customer form, typical entity in many domains. Normally consists of different properties and operations, but actually we will limit it those to for simplicity. We will be using Bootstrap. Everyone knows about it, and actually this will be a 3-part video or maybe 2. I don't know how long it will go. And in this first video, we will actually set up our some of the initial project dependencies and some structure of our application, and we will try to display our form without any functionality. And in the later videos, we will come back to the server-side controls and server-side functionality. There we will be posting our data, performing our CRUD operations, receiving back the results, and then processing those on the client side. Okay, so first thing come first, let me start the application. And if you want a refresher, just go back and see all the previous videos, which will give you an idea how we have reached here. So I will go to the application and let me also increase the 100. Yeah. Okay, so if I start it, so we have a very basic application shell. We have our sidebar, we have our top bar, and we are performing some routing. And we saw in the previous videos about what was these concepts. Actually, I will be definitely creating a new link here under home. I will call that employee, and we will build that form from the scratch. So actually, you can use these couple of videos which will be doing for the CRUD operations as a standalone. You don't need to go through this whole framework thing, but actually this will fit nicely with that one, and definitely we will be extending our original application in upcoming videos. So let's set up this option, and due to the simplicity how we did it, up to you if you want to set up using ng route, and I did it via the framework and our menu directive. So let me open our index.html, and here we have a body tag. Okay, so let me add here one more menu item. I will copy it and I will say customer. Okay, I will definitely find it later, but let's put the users for now. And route is, again, customer, route is employee. Okay, so this is our employee. Okay, about config, we need to provide this one in our configuration. So we have a new route, employee, and we will definitely create a new directory and all these artifacts, employee.html. Okay, so yeah, let's see. So let me bring this one a little bigger. Okay, we got our employee, and definitely it's not because we don't have created anything yet, but 3-hour routing is working. Okay, so let's dive into creating these blocks. Okay, so first thing I will do, I will create a directory under my app folder called customer, a new folder, employee. We called earlier one customers, so this will be employees. Okay, just make a convention and stick to it. Okay, we need here a couple of components. So we will be definitely needing a controller, a directive, a CSS file, a template. Yeah, so for this I can think of, and we have seen those, all those, how we created those in our first videos, and that would be much simpler. So let me find this one. Yes, okay. So let me create, okay, we already have some template, but let me first create the JavaScript file, new item. So one thing we need, okay, code, ASP.NET Core JavaScript file, I need, that's it. We need a controller, I will call it employee controller. Okay, get file. Empty. We need a directive. Okay, after that I will create the service, new item, JavaScript file, employee service. And then we need our directive. Sorry. So this was our service, this is our directive, and we need one more, new item, HTML page. This will be our view, or you can say template, employee MPL file, employee template.html. And of course we will be definitely needing some CSS, so why not create it? And let me get rid of this one and just create an empty div. Oh, okay, even I didn't need it anyway. And but we need here a CSS file for our future styling, but it's not hard to create one right now. Lovely. So this will be our CSS. So we will be definitely filling up these funds, and while before I forget any of these, just let me go to, currently none of these contain any kind of code or functionality. Let me add those ones here. We have our app, we have our login. Okay, we will talk about it sometime in future. Let's focus on the customer for now, or employee for now. So one thing I need is controller, service, and we need definitely directive and HTML file. Of course, we will not refer it will be loaded dynamically. Okay, so if we run the application, so we got our employee. If we click it, nothing happening because we don't know. We just created the empty file, JavaScript file. We haven't done anything useful for those with those so far. So let's start with our controller. And let's see how we would like to show this one definitely on our page. So first thing first, controller, and we already saw how to create controllers in our previous video, so I will simply copy that one from our code template, controller template, copy, and I will definitely, oh sorry, I have to copy the, okay, so this is our IFI immediate function expression use strict, and here we will have, instead of module JHS framework, Let me see how we are creating, because I also, okay, this is app, our main module, app. And we will create here employee controller, and we will hoist this one, employee control. You can use an inline function, but I actually prefer this way. It has some more benefits. And this is our employee controller, looking good. And let me also see it, because we are providing some titles. Yes, this is our pattern which we are following so far. So scope.page title, it will be employees. Initial setup. Nothing else we have set up yet, so leave this one here. And also we need a directive. Just a pattern. I like that you can do all this without directive, but that's my preferred way of doing it, so I will be doing it in that way, of course. So we have already one employee directive here. Yes, and we will be providing here our directive definition. So how you create this one is actually very straightforward. Not that actually it's not important at that level, but let me see if we already have some directive. Yes, we have. Okay, let me copy this definition and we will go through it. So we will call this one, because JS employees, JS employees directive. Why not? App clients. It naturally it looks app employees naturally. Let me copy this one here to here. Here. Just I'm not interested in this scope for now. And we will here give us the path to our template URL. So if I see here in our employee, we have this employee template.html. So I will create app employees, and in employees we have directly employee template. And our controller is okay. We just deviated from the convention, but that's not a big of deal. So let me put here employee controller. So now we create a directive, and here we are providing it some configurations that this is our template URL. This is the controller to use. And we already saw in our employee controller, we have just this, we are putting a page title on this controller, nothing special. It's using app module. And I think you already know how to create a controller. So employee controller, I will close this one because we will not be doing much with this now in this video. Employee service, let's leave this one out. And this is employee controller, and this is our simple directive. And due to snake casing, okay, now if I see my routes, I set up those differently. Actually, I can go that way, but there is an easier way. So in configuration, I am providing here only template, and if I needed to associate a controller, I could do it here, and so on. But because we have a directive right now, so why not we use that directive? And because that directive contains that what is the HTML and what is the controller associated, it will take care of everything. And we have a nice construct for that one. Instead of template URL, just provide template. And instead of okay, let me, before do this, let me show this one. So we have employee.html, how it looks like in the typical way, employee.html. And if I go to employee.html, I have a div here. And inside this div, if I just make a data binding to, because I know on my controller, I have page title. So if I take this page title and put it here, And in my route config, if I provide controller association as well, this is our route from here to here. Okay. And if I refresh everything, hopefully my browser cache is already fine. So if I click employee, okay, I got some kind of weird, okay, it is saying failed to load template app employee.html. So of course I give it the name employee template. I'm trying to load the employee HTML. So a good debugging skill can help you here. So instead of panicking, just give it a just see the error code and see what you missed. It's natural that you will definitely miss these things a lot. I do that all the time. So if I click employee, okay, I am definitely getting here, and but let's see, it is still complaining failed to load template app employee template.html. It is still having problem, but okay. Should I fix this one right now? But I can actually quickly see if even this part is correct. Template. We will just return simple HTML. That's for experiment purposes, to see if at least this loads. Okay, so of course this is loading. Now we have to just adjust our routing. So what is here? I am doing app. Just let me see this one. We have app, and no need for this template. Actually, we will need this one, app, and here I have employees. Okay, employees. Inside employees, I have employee template.html. Let's give it a try. And our scope property, because it is showing a page, some text. Okay, we got our property back. So routing is working now properly. And this will be our view, this area, this whole area. And we will be building up this one in this video. Okay. So one way is this one. And actually we have created a directive, and if you see our directive definition, we have both these properties here defined, controller and template URL. And so we can take the benefit of this one, and instead of defining these two, I can simply delete these two items, and I can give template directly, because this is simple HTML, and I know I create a directive app employees. If I take this one and put it here, something like that, and due to I have to convert it to snake case to be a valid HTML. And if I provide this thing, and we know this, our directive contains these two options which were allowing us to navigate to particular template and load it dynamically. Let's see if I still get the same result. So refresh, and voila, we got it. So this is how we set up the directive. This was the initial plumbing code, and actually if you have done this one for one form, you are going to do it again and again for all of those forms, with slight variations of course, but most of the time this process will be identical all the time. And in the next video, I'm going to show you how you can here build a real nice form using Bootstrap and the controls. And I would suggest you, if you go to the getbootstrap.com, go to the components, and here if you see this one, this there will be some forms component, maybe not here, CSS, JavaScript, anyway, just Bootstrap form. I think it will take me somewhere. Bootstrap form, you can see a lot of, so you can get the idea. What is the form group, what is form control, input text area, what is select element. Actually, if you see this form, this is typical login functionality, I guess, or registration. So we have a text box, we have a password, remember me, checkbox, and submit button. So you have various example here, what is horizontal form, vertical form, and actually you can take any markup from here, put it in your code, and try to just start building over it. And that would be simple. And actually this looks very similar what we are going to do, but I would like to build it ourselves. So keep watching and see you then. Bye bye.